This video covers the waste management, in particularly solid waste management. What is solid waste? What is waste management? So, the proper disposal of the component, that is waste management, is nothing but all the activities and the action required to manage waste from its inception to its final disposal. Waste may be in solid, liquid, or gaseous state. Okay, the waste is nothing but which is harm to the atmosphere. It is not good to the human health. So that is managed from its inception to its final disposal. So the basic waste what we categorized is a solid waste, e-waste, biomedical waste, like this it goes on. So first I'll take the solid waste. So what is the solid waste? It is a term that is used to refer the process of collecting and treating solid waste. According to Botanica, solid waste management is collecting, treating and disposing of solid material that is discarded because it has served its purpose or is no longer useful. Improper disposal of municipal solid waste can create unsanitary condition, and this condition in turn can lead to pollution of the environment and to outbreak of vector-borne diseases, that is disease spread by the insects. So what is the types of waste we observe? The solid waste. Various types of solid wastes are produced from animal and anthropogenic activities which are normally discarded or unwanted. The major sources of solid waste is from residential area and homes. So the residential area, the plastics includes food waste, plastics, paper, glass, leather, cardboard, metals, ashes, electronic, tire, battery, like hundreds of waste we can introduce to the atmosphere. The other source is the industries. The industry also includes light and heavy manufacturing industries, construction sites, fabrication plants, power and chemical plants. These industries produce solid waste in the form of housekeeping waste, food waste, packaging waste, construction and demolition no, materials, medical waste, and other hazardous waste. And even from commercial establishment uh, or godown, stores, office buildings are yet another source of solid waste. Some of the solid waste generated in these places are plastics again, food waste, metals, paper, glass, wood, cardboard, etc. Then even institutions like rubber industries or rubber waste, plastics, food waste are introduced to the atmosphere. Then even the municipal services. Solid waste brought about by municipal services including street cleaning, wastes from parks and beaches, or wastes from recreational areas including sludge. Manufacturing plants and sites. So heavy and light manufacturing plants like refineries, power plants, processing plants, mineral extraction plants, chemical plants produces heavy waste. Then construction and demolition areas, they also create some waste. Agricultural waste like food, pesticides, containers, and even agricultural waste like a spoiled food. They are producing, they are hazardous materials. And finally, the ninth one, what we consider is a biomedical waste. Waste hospitals from hospitals and biomedical equipments and chemical manufacturing firms. Some of the solid waste including spraying, bandage, gloves, drug, paper, plastic, food waste. These are all introduced today. There are some sources of solid waste: residential area and homes, industries, commercial establishments, institution, municipal service, manufacturing plants and site, construction and demolition areas, agricultural and biomedical. Then what is the characteristic of these waste? So the main thing is density. The waste is in the critical factor for the compactions of waste in landfill. So why these waste? So the density of the depending upon the density of the waste or the density of the waste in the critical factor of compactions of waste landfills. Moisture content is a critical factor to decide suitability of incineration process for the waste. That is for the disposal method. What kind of method we have to choose that depends upon their characteristic. That is density, moisture content, size distribution. What is a mechanical separation? Is it possible? Sometimes we have to do a mechanical separation to remove the solid waste. The size distribution is the critical factor. Waste with the calorific value can be used for heat generation. Some waste can able to get a heat, so we can use it for in order to generate a heat. Calorific value. Waste with the lipid content is suitable for energy recovery. Carbohydrates are readily biodegradable one, so that we can dispose that one into in the composting form. The partial decomposition of protein can result in amines having unpleasant odor. Natural fibers are suitable for energy recovery. Synthetic organic materials are suitable for pyrolysis and energy conversion. Materials like glass, ceramics are a non-combustible one. They can be separated as it is, and then it can be reused or recycled. Okay, these are the major characteristic of solid waste: density, moisture content, size distribution, calorific value, lipid content, carbohydrates, protein, natural fibers, synthetic organic materials, and the non-combustible materials. Then, how we dispose these materials? There are different methods of solid waste management. Some of them I'll discuss here. The first and foremost method is a scientific landfill. So this is not a good method, but we'll adopt this method. So in the case of scientific landfill method, uh, it has a scientific design for the construction. So you can observe the pictorial representation of the scientific landfill. Here, we observe a three-layer of the content or the base or the vessel. In that we'll introduce a solid waste. The base layer, what we observed, is of landfill is constructed of 90 meters of clay. It is completely filled with the clay, the base layer. Okay, lower composition composed of soil and the clay. This arrests any spongy from the landfill, okay, movement. Then on the top of the base layer there is a drainage layer of 15 meters made up of, again it is made up of foil in order to collect the leachate. Then it is again covered with a vegetative layer of about 45 centimeter to minimize soil erosion. Then we'll introduce a solid waste. This layer also ensured to collect the leachate. Since these layers soaks most of the impurities in the uh, most of the impurities in the waste disposed. So usually a methane gas is liberates. So here we can observe composed of solid waste here and leachates. Here the three pipe, here leachate pipes. So then it is goes to a leachate treatment system. Here we can observe the generation of methane in storage and compression and methane gas recovery system. Okay, there from that we can distribute to the electricity generating building. Okay, then the thick content it's introduced to land so that we can use it as a fertilizer. Leakage, which is storage tank, is also introduced here. So this is a brief picture of sanitary landfill this one method we use. So vertical wells insulated in a scientific landfill helps to extract methane regularly. The gas can be used for electricity and heat generation purpose. Okay, so this method is widely used to generate a methane gas. Here, uh, this this is the uh, most popular solid waste disposal method, in which the garbage is spread into a thin layer, compressed and covered with a solid, or here it is compressed or covered with a solid or a plastic foam. The bottom of the landfill is covered with the impervious liner, which is usually made up of several layers of thick plastic or sand. Here, what I observed is a sand, or a clay is used, three layers of clay. This liner protects the, here again we observe the one liner, top film liner here, and this liner helps to protect the groundwater from being contaminated, so that the leaching, because of leaching or percolation. So this liner prevents the movement of this waste content to the atmosphere or the soil. When the landfill is full, it is covered with a layer of sand, clay, or topsoil gravel to prevent seepage of water. So this is a method used the solid to manage a solid waste. The another method used to manage a solid waste is a composting. This composting is a method that is nothing but a biodegradable waste materials are used in composting. So this composting is again recycling, or we can use it as a compost. So good quality environment friendly manure is formed, which can be used as an organic fertilizer for agricultural purpose. By composting, we can able to get a good quality environment friendly manure, which can be used for agricultural purpose. There are two ways. One is a home composting. So other method is a vermicomposting. So here the compost happens when, with a proper mixing of water, oxygen, carbon and nitrogen, in the presence of these microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, microbes. Okay, so in the waste, which are able to break down the organic matter into the compost. So we can produce, that is a leaves, stay wood material, biodegradable materials, like it may be from the home or even from agricultural waste. It is mixed with a water, a proper quantity of water. It is mixed with a proper quantity of water, oxygen, carbon, and even if it is present a nitrogen, in the presence of these microorganisms, the air that gives these contents like oxygen, carbon, and even nitrogen, water, moisture contents, they mixed. Okay, so in and help to break down the organic component into a compost. This method, what we called it as a home composting. The other method is a vermicomposting. In the presence of, here I can show earthworm or insects. Here the various species of worms such as white worms and earthworms are used for organic matter to cleave the break down the organic matter, and it is a quick and more efficient method for composting. Okay, if the in the presence, here the various, in the presence of worms, if the breakdown of organic matter take place, then that composting method, what we called it as a vermicomposting. Whether the method is the same, it takes place in the presence of water, moisture, carbon, nitrogen, with the proper mixing the microorganisms in the waste in the presence of worms, and breakdown of organic matter take place to produce a compost. Okay, so composting is a biodegradable, only biodegradable waste materials are used. Good quality environment friendly manure is formed, which can be used for as a organic fertilizer for agricultural purpose. The other method is just a recycling of this waste, the recycling of solid waste. So the waste what we get from the construction. The construction material can be hazardous by waste materials like red mud from the aluminium industry, flash from the thermal power plant. Flash is that's a not good to the health. That is from a thermal power plant. We can use for a, or recycle for alternative any other purposes. And even mud can be recycled in the even in the for the getting aluminum. Agricultural waste can be used for manufacturing paper and cardboard. That is recycled purpose. Heavy metals obtained from waste materials can be used in industries. Ethanol obtained by fermentation of agricultural waste can be used as a fuel. Heat energy from incineration of plant can be generate electricity. Solid waste can be converted into cheap and efficient fuel. That is solid waste, like we can burn the solid waste and we can get a cheap and efficient fuel, provided they should not give any and liberates any environmental harming gases. Silk industry. The silk industry waste can be used as a poultry feed. Okay, so likewise we can recycle the component. Constructing material can be recycled. The constructing material can be harnessed by waste materials like red mud from industry, power plant. Agricultural waste. The agricultural waste is usually used in the manufacture of paper and cardboards. Heavy metals obtained from waste materials, that is e-waste, can be used, recycled in the industries. Ethanol, what we get by the fermentation process, can be used as a fuel. Heat energy generated by incineration of plants, burning of plants to generate electricity. These are recycling method. Then fourth method is a reuse of this solid waste. So like we can donate a durable goods to a good cause. We can, instead of just disposing that component, we can reuse that. Donate durable goods to a good cause. Old or torn socks or a ball made of mismatched yarn or a string can be enjoyed by the number of pets. They can be used as a toy. Then old bedding can be used as a pet beddings. Shopping, these are general things. Shopping bags can be used as a letter tan. Then purchase refilling ink cartridge, tape, dispensary pens and pencils. Refilling, like instead of using use and throw material, we can use refilling materials, so we can refill and repeatedly use the same materials. Installing water filtration system instead of purchasing a water bottle. So if you purchase a water bottle, again we can introduce a solid waste. Instead of that, we can use a uh, filtration system. Like likewise, we can make hundreds of things using that waste bottle. We can use it for reuse it for cultivating the plants, small plants, like, or even use the solid waste, like even the paper or plastics or bags. They can be reused to make it a designable articles. So that we can reuse hundreds of components in a good for the good manner, and thereby we can minimize the load of this solid waste entering into the earth. Can minimize the. Thank you.